But yeah, that's kind of a bad idea, because basically any enemy that's more powerful than me right now is going to attack first, and then destroy both Mario and Luigi, so... Oh, someone almost knew Luigi's name! So one thing that me and everyone was talking about last part actually, Prince Peasley gives you an item that lets you get into the castle, and as these guys are going to say, you may not enter unless you... Oh, they'll let us in now. Our thought was, well, what if you could sequence break, not saving Prince Peasley? They won't let you in, will they?
I don't think there's any way to clip around that rock that Fawful put there. That would be the only way we could get here without that. And there's plenty of other roadblocks you couldn't get past without the hammer.
That was kind of my thought, because you can only get the hammers after the boss battle. You can't, like... It's not like, say, in Paper Mario, or in Chapter 6, you can actually get the Ultra Boots ahead of time. And here, no, after the boss battle, it's the hammers. But here we go. Here is the actual, like, side of the Queen, actually. I think this is what was supposed to be the ambassador at the beginning of the game. So drop Mario and Luigi in a hole in the floor. So guess what we have to do? If we are indeed the Mario Brothers, we must repair the castle's plumbing. Now, when does Mario games actually hint to the fact that Mario is a plumber other than that there's pipes everywhere? Here it actually does.
And we have some original Mario Brothers enemies to come up against as well.
That is correct. So yes, if we want to see the Queen, fix the castle's plumbing. So I guess in that attack, the plumbing went out of whack as well. But we run into our first enemy, which is a familiar enemy actually. Super Flies, who are just like flies, but a little faster. Which, now that I think about it, yes, the original game had those crab things, and then it had flies, and I guess, yeah, flies. I never actually thought about that before. Yeah, original Mario Brothers enemies. Thank you, JD Sir. I did not notice that.
Yep, you said you weren't going to play Mario Brothers, despite it being included on like all the Game Boy Advance games, but it looks like you are anyway.
There we go, but provided you can just watch Superfly's attack closely enough, you can figure it out. Alright, let's try that again. This time a little slow, because I forgot when the advanced timing of that was.
Yeah, that one's pretty difficult to pull off all the way.
Oh, it is. So yeah, Luigi's advanced move for his jump attack, it allows you to actually attack two enemies at once. However, both Mario and Luigi, after you start the advanced attack, move really, really, really fast, and I've never been good at the timing on it.
Yeah, that move's particularly useful in the late game of the original Superstar Saga, when you had the mush badges that could raise your power to just ridiculous levels. And speaking of which...
Level up! Hooray! So what do you generally level up, JD Extra? I'm kind of curious.
So typically, and this is just a strategy that I picked up after the first time I played the game, but typically I loop through the first 4 or 5 of the stats, since there's not really any way to game the bonus wheel, because it spins so quickly and just spins for so long after you hit the button. I just usually try to spread out my stats a little bit evenly. If I note that the numbers seem really low on one, I'll just sort of move on to the next.
Alright, well, I just am picking a stat at random, to be completely honest. Usually I'm kind of leaning towards, like, the POW, but otherwise I'm just like, why don't we do this stat this time, or that stat this time, or some other stat this time.
It's funny how I do that in this game, actually. I've been playing through Dream Team recently, and in that game you can really see where the numbers are on the reel, so it's like, well, so long as there's a 4, I'll hit it. So I'll just pick the stats I want then. And I've made Luigi into this ridiculous tank, and Mario into this powerhouse that can't take a hit worth anything.
Mario attacks till he dies, then you just bring him back with Luigi. That's kind of funny. Now, even though I'm kind of skipping some of these battles, technically the Spinies here are a different Spiny than the ones we saw on the overworld, though they don't attack any differently or any notable way, so...
Yeah, they actually have 2 slightly different attacks. In one attack, they get right in front of you and then spin towards you pretty slowly. In another one, they stop quite a ways farther away, and then they pause for a while and then come at you, sort of like the Sharpies in the D&D Castle outskirts.
Okay.
I always found them a little hard to guard, because it's really hard to tell the difference between the attacks. You have to be watching really carefully for that help. One thing that I don't know if you picked up on, but look at those stat increases compared to last level. You got almost...
Yes, every 5th level up is a big level up.
Yeah, you got almost 10 in every stat there. So if you're a little bit behind the curve in leveling, or if you're just trying to grind until a boss becomes easier, every 5th level is a good place to stop.
I went with defense both times this time. There we go. Cue in people saying you don't need defense.
Yeah. I feel like it's a bit more important than this than in the other game. I always got the impression that in the original Superstar Saga, like, if you level up high enough, you pretty much, your defense will guarantee you only take 1 damage from everything anyway.
Alright. And yeah, here's where I wanted to say if you hammer an enemy as your first strike, they will all be dizzy at the start of a battle. It doesn't do any damage, but they can't counterattack right now.
Putting that newfound POW to use.
Oh yeah, and it kills them pretty quickly if you ask me. But thankfully these enemies are kind of slow. I find first striking with the hammer in this game a little weird because the hammer's hitbox is weird. I don't know any other way to put it. Like, I'll sometimes swing the hammer and it just straight up misses them. So anyway, let me show off something kind of funny here. So I'm going to start the advance attack. Oh. Being able to attack more than 1 enemy at once. I don't think you can actually choose what 2 enemies you want to attack with that move. I don't know if there's a way to change that, but...
Yeah, so you gotta be careful using that in battles against Spiny enemies, I guess. Yeah, on a side note, I just love how the valves and so forth in this plumbing system sort of trick you. Like, all you did was pound in plugs in the first room, so here you come in this room and pound in the plug, and what do you get? 2 enemies. Kind of a tricky
but
plumbing system. But
they're worth the experience. Oh, come on, there we go.
Sort of.
Sort of. A funny note, because the jump first strike hits every enemy, you do technically jump and hurt the Spinies from a jumping first strike if they're in the back in an enemy or in a battle.
And conversely, if you stomp a Spiny enemy, it doesn't matter how many non-Spiny enemies that there are in the battle, you'll still get hurt.
Both Mario and Luigi have that really funny, ouch, I stepped on a spike enemy and my foot hurts now animation.
So you've got that puzzle first try. It does matter what order you hit them in.
I didn't even notice, actually. I just thought you pounded down all the plugs. Did I just get really lucky there?
That just seems like the logical order to hit them in. You only have 1 choice at the beginning, and then you only have, I think, 2 choices every plug afterwards.
Okay, I actually did not know that was a puzzle. I thought you just had to hit... Okay, thank you, JD Haster. Wow. Oh, thanks, game.
You're lucky it didn't first strike you. Luigi is running a little low on BP there.
Yes, he is. Now, if I keep spinning this, another enemy doesn't come.
No infinite experience.
There we go. Now, please don't come towards me, Spiny. Oh.
Just a slight thing I changed as well. I don't know if you noticed this, but the item blocks actually have different colors in this hack. The yellow blocks always contain coins, the red ones contain items, and the green ones will later contain a certain type of bean. Yeah, they were all yellow in the original.
Oh. Ah, wow. That was a nice cosmetic change that I did not notice. Wow.
It's interesting that there's code in the game to just, like, let them be red or green, but they don't, unlike the later games in the series, it doesn't matter who hits them.
Had you not said that, I would have just thought it was like that in the original. But no, right now all the green blocks seem to have 1-up mushrooms. Just, wow, you blew my mind away. That is I did not notice that. Alright, we are on track to finally fixing this castle's plumbing. There we go. Just one more fly to kill off here. Unless there's another room. I actually think this is the last room, though.
Yep.
It's funny how this doesn't do any additional damage, but I'm going for it anyway, just because it feels like it would do extra damage.
It does make it less likely that you'll jump over him with the first throw and then get first struck on the second.
That's true. Alright, there's actually just this one small room. Once we get this room, that opens that door, and that opens that gate. Hey, where we find Lady Lima again! Hooray! And apparently she completely forgot about us.
Kind of interesting that she'd trap herself in a cage at the end just to reward the pros. Oh, wait.
That is kind of perplexing.
What a twist.
Oh. So, someone designed the Bean Bean security system to where it gets disabled if the plumbing is fixed. Crackletta had the right idea there. Hiring a contractor would be suspicious. Ooh, I know. Tell Mario Brothers they can see the Queen if they fix the plumbing. They'll go right to it. Yeah. Who ties security to fixing the plumbing? This game sometimes. I'd like to say it doesn't get more ridiculous than this, but it does later on. You have not seen what most of this game has to offer. I think just for you guys, I think I should just have a bonus video where I show that specific segment to Evil Pop-Tart and Higsby just to get their reactions to it. I apologize, they couldn't be along this video, though. I always like that backdrop in that room right there. It's just like some big open water room. The Queen is not happy.
Always loved that they just sort of introduced her out of nowhere here.
Say hello to the Queen, who's actually a boss battle. I love this game. So, Queen Bean, there's kind of two ways you could go about going against her, and I decided to show off the normal way a player would go against her, is you kind of want to take out her arms. That way you can actually attack her, because she is actually a spiked enemy. And in order to be able to attack her, you need to take out her arms, and then, as you will see shortly, that'll make her exposed to attacks.
As a side note, she's sort of creeping up on the bros here. She's now in the middle of the battle arena.
Yeah, she does get progressively closer and closer to you, and then eventually she'll just do that. So...
She doesn't take much damage from hammer attacks. That would be an option, but she only takes 1 damage per swing.
Good luck with that.
Barely hanging on there.
I'm going after Mario, but there we go, finally.
As a note, you can knock her back with the hammer, though.
Yes, you can, though, once again, minimal damage. So, the idea is finally, after we take out the hands, she is exposed, so this is kind of like the other quote-unquote phase, where now we have to dodge these beans she's barfing out. If you jump on the bean instead of dodging them, you actually get a beanie on the battlefield, which you should promptly ignore.
Yeah, at this point, they'll pretty much die to counterattacks anyway.
But there we go, with the queen exposed, we can actually get at her with the bros attacks. There we go, just safely ignore you. Of interesting note, I think there could only be up to like 4 beanies on the battlefield, so if you jump on the beans, that's no big deal, you just have to dodge more beanies. But
That'll be it.
Otherwise, there is actually another way to go about this battle, and I kind of hinted toward it when I said Queen Bean is a spiked enemy. If you can put 2 and 2 together, you may remember earlier in this episode I said, oh wait, you know that one bros attacks we can use to jump on spiked enemies? We can use it in this boss battle, actually. Which I will promptly be doing once I get through all of this so we can take out the queen really, really quickly. A normal player would not know that, by the way, because something I have learned, this game does actually hint towards Splash Brothers Advance being able to jump on spiked enemies. So just to answer a question Higsby asked earlier, Higsby was like, oh, by the way, all those beanies just got destroyed. Higsby was like, wow, this was really cryptic. How would you ever learn this? The game actually does hint that you can do this.
Yeah, for the longest time, I did not even know that advanced bros attacks were a thing. I think I just randomly decided to or probably accidentally, just switch back into mode 1 of a bros attack, and I noticed a little exclamation point on something at advanced command. It's like, that's weird, what happens if I hit the other button there? And then I did something completely different.
So yeah, at some point in this game it does hint that Splash Brothers Advance does double damage to spiked enemies. Otherwise, kind of agreeing with Higsby here, this is kind of a cryptic thing. Why would you ever jump on an enemy that's spiked?
She goes down pretty quick once you start doing that.
Oh yeah.
And since I was able to assign items to her arms, she gives you quite the haul there.
I didn't know that. Okay. So we just took out the queen. We might be starting another diplomatic crisis, but actually no, Lady Lima, she's gonna send us on a quest here because it's like, Queen Bean kind of ingested something, and the only way to heal her is to get her a drink. The Chocola Reserve from the Chucklehuck Woods. So once again, to avoid another international crisis, why don't we go ahead and go on this journey? We kind of want to anyway. Poke poke. I know Evil Pop Tart likes to complain about the names of things, but I just kind of like how the name of everything in this game rolls off the tongue.
So many joke-themed and laughter-themed names.
I mean, I'll agree, Blah Blah Nadon is kind of a stupid name, but, I mean, Chucklehuck Woods is brilliant. Still only authorized personnel only.
Which is funny, because I think the only thing down way... I think the only thing down that way is books that tell you more about the mechanics of this game.
Before we go ahead and call it apart, I'm just going to go into this room and get the coins here. There's kind of just this mysterious wall here, and when I first played this game, I remember coming into this room a lot and going, oh wait, is there anything I can do in this room? I eventually figured it out what the purpose of the room is, but it just it's a room that royally confused me when I first played this game, because it's like, there's a wall here. And I tried using abilities that you get later on in the game in the room, and they did nothing, and I'm like, why is there a wall here? But, anywho, next episode of Let's Play Mario and Luigi... Oh wait, we're not quite done yet. There's one last thing we have to learn about. We got a badge! So badges probably work exactly how you expect. If you've played a Paper Mario game, you equip a badge, it in some way, shape, or form helps you. In this game, you can only equip one badge at a time, but each badge, they generally increase power in some way, shape, or form, and usually they might do something else on the side. They have a whole variety of different things they can do. As JD Aster mentioned, there's kind of a badge that royally breaks this game. The Mush badge. You balanced that, correct?
A bit. In reality, I couldn't, really, so I kind of stuck them way towards the end of the game. At which point you should kind of be doing a bunch of damage anyway.
Oh, okay. But yeah, we only got one badge, and right now it's equipped to Mario. I actually do think we can equip it to Luigi if we want to.
I don't think you can't unequip a badge unless you have another one to replace it with in this game, so it's stuck on him until you buy more.
Never mind. I know if I could get it off of Mario, I think Luigi can hold that badge. But anyway, next episode of Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga, we're going to head on over to the woods. Just before we fully call it apart, I kind of want to go purchase some syrup. Because I can now purchase syrup, and I could use Bros Attacks more liberally. I want to use Bros Attacks more liberally, so...
Slight change from beforehand. You can actually buy equipment here now.
Yeah, there we go. I actually think I'd take this opportunity to buy some equipment too. Nothing too spectacularly great, but you can kind of see, you notice how these items are 31% off? That's the stash stat at work, baby.
You have a trade-off there to make. Do you want more power or more BP?
Yeah, you can also change the jeans Mario and Luigi are wearing, and I think, generally speaking, that tends to affect defense more than attack, though as you can see, it does sometimes do things to other stats.
Mm-hmm. The default pants in the original game, I think, give you 4 or 5 defense apiece. In this game, they actually don't do anything, so this is going to be a big boost to your defense.
And before you ask, no, you can't walk around in your undies.
Yeah, they're basically...
It'd be hilarious if you could just unequip your jeans, then Mario and Luigi would just walk around in undies.
Yeah, and as a side note, I changed the name. Not only did I change the stats of all the items, but I did change the names of most of the equipment and badges, and I changed all the flavor text as well.
Well, thank you for mentioning that, because I probably would not have noticed.
A lot of the names are the same, but I shuffled them around, and I gave some new ones in there.
Okay then. So, that does it for our shopping trip. Next time, we are going to go to the Chucklehuck Woods. So thank you again, JD Aster, for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for this Romhack. It's definitely been an adventure so far. So, this has been Milesluigi.
And JD Aster 64.
See you next time.